Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. This is like the experiment, as I want to do something special for the digital album that is going to come out for Wonwoo and Mingyu. I wanted to do something a little bit special, especially since I have finished my second batch of individual readings. I was like, okay, people have asked for like friendship readings of sorts, you know, basically how do these two people interact and how do they get along. And I actually wanted to start with one of the, as a fellow carrot, I was like, hey, I don't know if anyone has asked for a friendship reading, but I kind of want to do one for two people that I kind of know, if that makes sense, or something familiar, to start something completely different, right? Since I'm barely figuring this one out, I have like in front of me a piece of paper that has like how I want to put the cards down with the questions that I'm going to have in mind as I take them out. So I don't really know how this is going to work out. This is going to be a semi-lengthy intro because I'm trying to, you guys are probably not going to know what this reading is going to be about, but I'm going to have different questions and I'll ask them as I'm taking out the cards, so you of course know what's going on. On one side we're going to have one member, and on the other side we're going to have this other member, and in between we're going to have where the connection meets, right? So we'll get there when we get there, right? So yeah, on this reading we're going to do Wonwoo on this side, which is like this orange side, and on my right we're going to do Mingyu, which is like this bluish purple side. Anyway, putting all that aside, thank you for everyone that has been supporting my channel and watching my videos. Now that we're going to do something new, I hope you guys enjoy it and I hope you guys like it. I still have no idea how this is going to work out. I just kind of make a rough sketch and hope for the best, and as my ascendant does, we're just gonna jump in and see how that works out. So yeah, let's get started. So the first question that I have, we're going to use the oracle. We're going to ask one card to symbolize a connection. Oh, right, I forgot to mention this. I'm calling them, the only assumption that we're going to make here is that they're friends. That's why I'm calling it a friendship reading. I didn't want to call it a relationship reading because then that implies that there's some romance in it, and I'm not a shipper, so that was like a no-no for me. And I didn't want to call it coworker reading because then I thought it was kind of weird. I thought it felt a little bit too cold, so I decided to just call it a friendship reading. The most neutral I can keep it without making like the titles very wordy of like, how does this person get along with this other person? Wait, now that I think about it, that's pretty decent. That's a pretty decent title. But yeah, so yeah, the only assumption that we have here is that they're friends. So if they don't get along, well, whoops. But yeah, so let's see. One card to represent the relationship Wonwoo and Mingyu have. You have New Moon in Virgo, a time to give rather than take. So this tells me right off the bat that they both actually do get along, or if not, this is a relationship where they both work very hard to give to the other. They seem to both be constantly making sure that the other one's okay. With this Virgo energy, it feels like the type of what is it called, like the love language that they both have is service. So like, what can I do to help you out? What can I do to help you out? Do you need someone to listen to you? Oh, do you need someone to help you with this? They seem to be a very service type of care, if that makes sense. This is a Virgo card, meaning that they usually are very good at helping the other person start new projects, or they're very good at hyping each other up. They're very good at being there for each other. I do feel that there's just a lot of like comforting, a lot of like comfortable energy that could be transmitted through touch as well as words, because Virgo is an earth sign, so touch is very important. All of the physical things that you can materialize is very important. But then I also said talk because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, which is a sign of which is the planet of communication, right? Let's jump onto the next one, and it's like, what we're going to start with Wonwoo. What card will represent Wonwoo in this relationship? We have the Page of Cups. Okay, and what card will represent Mingyu in this relationship? we have the we have the Eight of Wands. I'm not surprised. So this is very funny, right? Because Wonwoo is a water sign and he got a water card, and Mingyu is a fire sign and he got a fire card. So I am not surprised. I just find it kind of funny. Interesting. Very interesting. So this tells me that it's very clear with Mingyu what that is. This is screaming Aries energy. So this is the energy, the Eight of Wands. It tells me one thing, that the role that Mingyu plays, or the card that represents him in this relationship that they have, is that he is that friend that is constantly changing. This is the friend that is constantly trying new things, always taking action, and figuring out what they want. This person, Mingyu is not one to think much. He just does. I do feel that he is someone that overthinks a lot, but he doesn't let that hold him back from taking action and getting things done. This is energy that is, I see that it could be two ways. He could be very scatterbrained in the sense that he just does everything without thinking much, or he's very focused, so he puts all of his energy and time and effort in only one goal that he has in mind. This is the Eight of Wands, so it's fast moving energy. It's an energy of taking action, and of course quick action. So it's someone that they know what they want, they go for it, right? So Mingyu is that type of friend. Now for Wonwoo, he is the friend that actually takes his time to think things through, and he seems to be the type that actually likes to enjoy the environment he's in. So he's not moving very quickly. We have a little cat in the background, so that's actually kind of cute. We have candy, we have sand, we have a sand castle. So this kind of tells me that Wonwoo is a type of friend that actually may hold Mingyu back sometimes, and is like, okay, calm down, look in your surroundings, where are you at? It feels like it also feels like out of both of them, Wonwoo takes like a longer time to get things done. He takes a while to take action. It takes him a while to make up his mind to see what he wants to do, because it feels like this is someone that likes to enjoy the moment. They like to enjoy the space that they're in, and because of that, it does feel like one of the ways that they balance each other out is that you have Mingyu over here like, oh, let's do this, let's do that, and then Wonwoo's over here like, okay, maybe you want to calm down a little bit, or it's supposed to balance them out. So it's not a lot of just take action and get things done. It's also, let's enjoy the moment that we're in and the environment that we're in. So yeah, I do feel that that's the type of dynamic that they have. And again, this is about service, so they help each other out. It's like, oh, how could I be of help? And then this is like, okay, maybe let me help you be more emotionally stable, if that makes sense, or just enjoy life. But yeah, with that all said, let's see, how does Wonwoo see Mingyu? So we have the Four of Wands reversed. Okay. How does Mingyu see Wonwoo? We have the Eight of Wands. I'm dying. Okay. Okay. So what we have here is that the way that there's a lot of fire. So the way that Wonwoo sees Mingyu is that we have the Four of Wands reversed. So it feels like home, but it also feels like there's this sense of constant change. So because I'm getting two things, right? Like the Four of Wands is stability, it's home, it's shelter, it's this sense of protection because you're grounded, right? But since it's reversed, it kind of feels that Mingyu is not always grounded, and Wonwoo is able to see that, or according to Wonwoo's energy and his perspective of how he lives life, Mingyu always needs to be grounded, or always needs something to hold him down on earth and be like, okay, not everything is to just get things done, right? So I feel like Wonwoo sees Mingyu a little bit unstable in that sense. I'm not necessarily focusing like on the current energy. I mean like overall, how do they always see each other? So it feels that maybe the service that Wonwoo brings to Mingyu is always like, let me help my friend over here in getting grounded, finally figuring out what they like, stabilize their energy. This is like a fire, like Mingyu is like a firecracker, right? Like it feels like it's an uncontrollable fire, and that I think Wonwoo takes upon himself to like soothe once in a while. It's like, okay, calm down, or it's like you can't control fire, he's just like guiding it, right? So it feels like that's what the Four of Wands symbolizes. Now for Mingyu, the way that he sees Wonwoo is this eight of wands, right? So it feels like, okay, I'm looking at the imagery of this one. We have Mercury and Sagittarius, so it's like always talk about adventure. It feels like Mingyu feels this energy of like he's able to talk to Wonwoo and feel like he has someone that's listening to him and his adventures, or listening to the goals that he has in mind, or it's like he has a friend to talk to about the actions that he wants to take in life and whatever his goals are. But the other thing that I'm getting is, if you look at the imagery of this Eight of Wands, of course it's different from this one because they're two different decks, but it feels like whenever they're working together or whenever they're taking action or something like that, Mingyu feels that Wonwoo is slowly coming out of the deep darkness he was in, or he sees Wonwoo as someone that is like one of the things that I got is like it takes a while for Wonwoo to get out of his shelter or out of his room, or like it takes a while for Wonwoo to get out of his comfort zone basically. So it's kind of like climbing up slowly to success and taking action slowly towards change and making something different. So I feel like on one side we had Wonwoo, who sees Mingyu as someone that needs to be constantly helped to like be stable, help to ground that energy, and then on Mingyu's side, he sees Wonwoo as someone that it not necessarily needs, but it's slowly always someone that he can rely on to talk about his adventures, but also it is someone that has to be pushed a little bit more to get out of their comfort zone. So that's kind of how they see each other, but they're both action cards, so it's always about what the other can do, if that makes sense. But with all of that said, I'm going to take out one more card to see what do they like to do usually to spend time together. We have Fifth Moon, hold your vision. So it feels like one of the things that they like to do is to check up on each other to see how they're kind of like, I don't have the word right now, but it's basically to talk to each other and figure out, oh, so how are you doing? Like kind of check up on each other to measure in a way if they have been constantly working towards their goals, whatever it is that they have in mind. So this is a Fifth Moon. So this is definitely. They also seem to like to talk about what it is that they value, what it is that they're constantly working towards. This is like the energy when it says hold your vision. It feels like it's the energy of like, okay, we're standing here, let's look far and beyond and where we're at. What challenges are we having to overcome right now, or like what are the difficulties that we are working against, or something along those lines, right? Like it feels like they like to talk to each other about the challenges that they're facing, as well as the difficulties that they're facing, and how they can empower each other to continue down the path to reach their goals. So that's what they like to do, just talk about their goals, their mission, their stuff like that like whatever it is that they're working on. Now the next card that I'm going to take out is, what does Wonwoo like about Mingyu? Okay, I'll accept 2 cards, it's okay. So we have the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Cups. Now what does Mingyu like about Wonwoo? We have the World reversed. Okay, so what does Wonwoo like about Mingyu? We have the Seven of Cups and the Nine of Cups. So there's a lot of water energy, and I find that so amusing and so fun at the same time. So what he likes is that he sees Mingyu as someone that has a lot of options, someone that has a lot of things that they could be working on. He feels like Mingyu has a very easy time at seeing those opportunities and taking advantage of those opportunities to be emotionally fulfilled. So I feel that even though Wonwoo feels like he needs to like ground Mingyu and help him stay alive basically, because it feels like Mingyu just likes to just take action without thinking sometimes. So it feels like Wonwoo is like, okay, I admire that my friend over here is someone that is very confident, very optimistic and creative, and is able to see all of these beautiful opportunities that surround him, and is able to take action and advantage of those opportunities to be emotionally satisfied. Because this is like, the Seven of Cups is all about being able to see those opportunities that you have, and the Nine of Cups is making a wish come true, being fulfilled, being happy and satisfied. So it feels like one of the things that Wonwoo likes is that Mingyu is constantly achieving his goals, his dreams, or is constantly working towards making his dreams come true. And that is a very nice thing to admire. Now, the thing that Mingyu likes about Wonwoo is the world reverse. Okay, so one of the things that I got right away was Saturn energy, because Saturn is represented by the world. And Saturn is all about restrictions. It's like this energy of having to learn within your limitations and stuff like that. So it kind of feels that one of the things Mingyu admires of Wonwoo is that he's able to notice the limitations that he has. He's able to but still work beyond that, because I'm thinking of this mountain. So it's like if the mountains were surrounding Wonwoo and he is able to see what his limitations are, what he can't do, whatever it is that he's lacking, but that doesn't hold him back necessarily. It feels like with this world reverse is showing this energy of, I understand what is not under my control and I'm able to work beyond that, or that there's this sense of having patience for the world to just get it ish together and being able to work with what he has already, or being able to understand that sometimes there's a patience required and necessary for things to just kind of settle down in its place so things can continue moving forward. So there's the sense that they kind of really admire how the other one works to achieve their dreams and their goals, and how they're overcoming that. I do feel that Mingyu is constantly seeing the struggles and difficulties that Wonwoo is usually going through, because I'm kind of comparing it to that Eight of Wands and what it signified with this imagery. So it kind of feels that Wonwoo likes that Mingyu is like this very light energy, very optimistic, very hardworking, and moving towards making his dreams come true. And Mingyu is always seeing and admiring how Wonwoo is slowly blossoming and becoming this new version of himself that is a lot that sees no impossibles almost. But with that said, let's get on to the next one. What has Wonwoo learned from Mingyu? We have the star reversed. Okay. What has Mingyu learned from Wonwoo? The Three of Wands. Okay. He's very clear. Okay. It's funny, right? Since Mingyu's his energy is very like straightforward and stuff like that. It's very clear to me to understand like where he's coming from and how he sees things, because in comparison to Wonwoo, I see what Wonwoo puts over here and I'm like, it's very complex. I'm not too sure if I can put everything in just one word. But let's start with Mingyu, since his is a little bit more clear to me. So what has Mingyu learned from Wonwoo is how to work with other people. This Three of Wands shows energy of someone that is able to work with other people, or the help for business has come through. It's a good card for contracts to be signed and stuff like that, or for business commitment, I guess you could put it that way. So now I'm gonna focus more on the imagery of this card. We have we have a sun in Aries, so it kind of feels like this energy of he has learned how to be Mingyu has learned how to be a healthy Aries, how to take action in a way that will not be destructive to him, but will be just a tool and a skill to make his dreams come true. It also feels like with this closed eye, it kind of feels like he sees like his partner in crime in Wonwoo. Like he sees Wonwoo and he feels like, okay, this is someone I can work with. This is someone I can learn from, and it's a lot of things. It feels like one of the main things that he can learn from Wonwoo is how to work with other people, or how to create good business, or something along those lines. But the main one is how to be that healthy fire. So again, this kind of connects to this Four of Wands and how I mentioned that Wonwoo feels like Mingyu is a fire that you have to work with so it doesn't go out of control. But of course, it's not something that he can't control necessarily. He's not trying Wonwoo is not trying to smother Mingyu's fire. He's just trying to create a more soothing, healthy, and healing fire from Mingyu, if that makes sense. Now, what has okay, I get it now. What has Wonwoo learned from Mingyu is the star reverse. The star is very similar to the Nine of Cups when it comes to dreams. The star usually represents someone's dreams coming true, or wishing upon a star, or hoping for something for their dreams to be, their goals to be accomplished. And the fact that it's reversed, it kind of shows this energy of Wonwoo feeling like he's learning how to turn this star upright. Like he's learning how to have faith again. He's one of the things that I mentioned here was that Wonwoo sees Mingyu as someone that is constantly achieving his dreams and is very satisfied and optimistic to make those dreams come true. So it kind of feels like one of the things that Wonwoo's learning from Mingyu is exactly that: how to achieve his dreams and how to make them happen, how to make them true, how to be satisfied with life, and how to not lose hope. I feel like that's like the main one: how to find back his sense of direction and not lose hope. So because I do feel that one of the things that Mingyu has taught Wonwoo is how to get out of that darkness, or how to get out of that stuck, stagnant energy that he could feel sometimes. So I do feel that that's one of the things that he has learned from Mingyu, is just how to get out of that, how to be a lot more happy, how to be a lot more satisfied, because there's something that Wonwoo can look forward to, if that makes sense. And let's get out our last card, which is what I'm very interested in, is why did Wonwoo and Mingyu meet? Universe, why did they both meet? The card that we have is Watson Moon. The energy is gaining momentum. So it kind of feels like, so the reason they met was to help each other out. You do have to keep in mind that water and fire are opposing elements. So one is all about like emotions, stability, going with the flow of things, and fire is a lot about, it's kind of impatient, it's kind of impulsive, and it's an energy that wants to constantly take action. It's an energy that doesn't mind to go against the current. But water is more of this energy of like, we're just going to go where life takes us. So it does feel like it could be energies that are constantly clashing. Also, if you look at their sun signs only, because I haven't looked at their charts yet, Wonwoo is a Cancer and Mingyu is an Aries, and those signs square. So that's kind of like a difficult placement to work with. You can definitely work with it, but it's constant clashing of energies, right? But of course, it feels like they both do get along, and it does feel like both of them actually do make the constant effort of making things work out. Like they're choosing to make this relationship work. They're choosing to make sure that their friendship blossoms into something beautiful, and instead of just being like, oh, we don't get along, there's no point in even trying to get along, let's just go our separate ways. It feels like both of them are constantly trying to make sure their friendship is blossoming, that it's nurtured and it's taken care of. And one of the biggest things that I feel at first could have been difficult, but now they definitely know how to work through that, is that they accept how different they are, and there are, with this energy is gaining momentum, it feels like they're both able to see how their differences are a good way that they can learn from each other. It feels like whatever it is that one feels the other person's lacking, and what they feel that they are lacking as individuals, when they work together, they're able to learn and grow to blossom. It feels like there's this sense of growth and understanding and comprehending each other in such a way that is very beautiful and is very nice. Like, they met so like that they could see how different they were and learn from that. And it's not necessarily like an easy relationship where everything flew nicely. It feels like they have come to this period and this point in their life where they're able to see that their differences are completely fine, and it's just meant to help them grow. Now, one of the things that I kind of want to mention overall is that there's a lot of fire and water, so we don't have grounded energy and we don't have communication necessarily, because there's no swords. So it's all those things that, yeah, they like to be able to be emotionally satisfied and stable. Like, the stability that Wonwoo's looking forward in, like, bringing to Mingyu is emotional stability. It's not necessarily the earthy type of grounded energy. I guess you could say that the only earthy element we have is what the connection is about. So it's kind of like they are grounding themselves physically in such a way that is not necessarily conventional. Like, it's not like they're like, oh, we have to make a lot of money, or like, it's not the you do this and I do that. We're grounding ourselves by having a nice balance of water and fire, if that makes sense. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. And you know what was very, very funny? The colors that I picked for each one of them was different. I picked orange for Wonwoo because I feel that that's a color that really represents him. It feels like he's constantly working through his sacral chakra and his solar plexus, meaning that he's working on his confidence, his optimism, his creativity, and to have that drive to continue being motivated to work in what he's passionate in. And for Mingyu, we have this blue and purple, which symbolizes the crown third chakra and the throat chakra. So being able to communicate effectively, being able to connect to what he cannot see, which is a very intuitive thing that most water signs are very quick to pick up, since that's kind of their natural state. So it definitely feels like there's a sense of helping each other out in different aspects, if that makes sense. So yeah, with all of that said, thank you to everyone for watching this video. I thought it was very interesting, very lighthearted, and very nice to see how they're helping each other out, how they're learning from each other, and how they see each other is also very different to how they wanted to be represented in this reading. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I hope it was interesting or entertaining to watch. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, and if that's the case, or if it isn't the case, it's completely fine. I still hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And thank you for all the love and support you've been giving my videos. I am very, very thankful, and I truly appreciate all the love you've been giving my channel and my videos. So yeah, with all of that said, love and healing from my part to you, and see you on the next one. Bye.